We are so excited, Limitless Leaders, because today you are in for a treat. One of the things that we know is that our world, particularly education, is changing at such a rapid rate. And it seems as if every day you can't log on to social media or show up in your schools or work and connect with other educators without talking about artificial intelligence. Now, as a general purpose technology, this is the fastest transformation that we've seen since electricity and the internet. So today I am joined by two AI futurists, amazing educators, and just awesome humans. I'm so excited to welcome Misty McClain here, as well as Naomi Discepola, who are going to just talk to us about future proofing with AI, particularly around discernment, strategies, and skills for what's next. Misty and Naomi, hello. How are you?
Doing great. We're happy to be here with you today.
Oh my
So excited to have a
goodness.
few minutes. Yes.
Yes, it's amazing, amazing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. I had the awesome opportunity to not only attend Model Schools 2025, but also to be a participant. And one of the sessions that I went through immediately, I always make sure when I get my playbook and the agenda that I highlight sessions I want to go to. So when I saw that these two amazing educators were talking about authentic writing in the age of I was so intrigued, and their session did not disappoint. So I'm going to just kick off with just a moment of clarity that I think has been on everyone's minds is this fine line between humanities and writing and what makes us so deeply human and artificial intelligence, thinking about prompting and outputs and where do we stand in the gap. You ladies talked about cheating. And I think, regardless of whether you're in elementary, middle, high, cheating has been a topic we see on social media, college professors talking about it. There's so many theories and policies around cheating. But you all had such an interesting take on discernment. Can you talk a little bit about that and perhaps a little bit about where, as we stand in this moment, how educators should be approaching or what they should be thinking about when it comes to cheating and AI?
Yeah. Thank you for that. We had loved our session and we're so excited that you attended. Um, we started off with this research study that Stanford did where they said cheating is not an AI issue. Students have been cheating forever. In fact, they've seen that cheating has not really increased since the advent of
Mhm.
AI. And in conversations I've had with young adults, with teenagers, they're interested in AI, but they don't know what to do with it. So I think we're at this pivotal moment in time to help them be good consumers. So that was the goal of our session, right? We wanted to take a piece and we chose an opinion piece around work life balance because it's something people actually have opinions on, I would hope.
Yes.
And we had AI write it. And then in our session, the goal was to go through some discernment questions, which we crafted really carefully. Does this piece reflect my opinion? Does it use my writer's voice? Is it structured the way I would structure it? And so we asked groups to have really collaborative conversations to look at the piece and talk about how it made them feel with response to those questions, and then to go in and take the piece and truly make it theirs, which I think is part of what we need to be doing with students in the classroom. Sure, they're going to use AI, right? So let's help them learn how to use it in a way that's authentic and responsible.
Yeah. And we kind of pulled in the North Carolina framework, the AI guidance, and we use that in our session. And we really recommend for educators to use that with their students, but also even as adults ourselves using AI. It's really a nice framework to use. And I think we'll share that with everyone afterwards. But basically, it's every. So it stands for evaluate, verify, edit, revise, and you. So with that, we want students to use AI, but use it responsibly. So as they're using it, does it meet their purpose? Is there any bias in that? Are you confirming the data and the facts? In the opinion piece, is it their opinion? Because when you get AI, sometimes it comes out and it's like, well, that doesn't really sound like me. So taking that and revising and editing it, and then being transparent that, hey, I used AI here. So
Mm.
everyone's kind of on the same page there.
Listen, ladies, you just unlocked so much, particularly about this concept of consumer versus creator. And I so appreciate, we're definitely going to have that every framework available. It'll be in the link in the comments or the caption. But one of the things I think is so important is how the Y stands for you. We cannot forget that this is a human and a robot interacting.
Mhm.
And so in your opinions, and I'm so interested in hearing your thoughts on this as you talk to young people, do you think that the skills that AI unlocks are going to be these new age skills that are going to be necessary to walk us through to the future? Because what I hear is a distinction between simply using AI as an assistant, write my emails, create these opportunities for memos, and creation, because you're questioning what you're creating. So, what are these skills that you believe AI can unlock or that you've seen AI unlock, especially in our young people?
And
It's
Misty and
funny
I,
that
go ahead.
go ahead, Naomi.
I was going to say, Misty and I actually were having this conversation prior to about this, and we were like, okay, it's kind of, problem solving, it's helping with brainstorming. And then we were
Mm,
like, but what else? I'm sure there's other things that we haven't even thought of. So we're like, our company has started using Copilot. So we're like, let's throw it in Copilot and see what Copilot tells us. So being
yes.
transparent here with the you part that we're sharing that we used Copilot
Yeah.
here.
Love
Um,
it.
but it said, think critically, digital literacy skills, researching, being smarter. It's not the be all end all. It's not the final
Mm,
solution AI, but they're using
mhm.
AI to develop something for an output. And the one part we really loved was the collaborating and using AI as a brainstorming partner.
Yes, that is so critical because, particularly when you can question your own thinking, which takes us right back to thinking about strategy,
Mhm.
particularly in the humanities. I just wrote an article about where AI and the humanities sort of collide. And I really wanted to give educators just three easy ways for them to elevate and really think about how do we make sure that this interaction of learning, just a beautiful process of learning and the unfolding of new neurons and knowledge, still remains deeply human. So, as you think about students who engage with AI, what would be maybe one thing you would tell educators to say, keep this in mind as you strategize for instruction and bring AI into the room? Because now you have AI, you have your humans, you have all these different perspectives. What would be the one thing that you would say, keep this in mind as you strategize to teach?
I would like to begin by saying the word possibilities. I think as an educator, we have to be open to the possibilities of what it can do for students. And I think they're going to come to the table with ideas that we might not even think of because they've just grown up in such a different world than many of us are in. So I would like to start off by that. Like, let kids bring to the table ways that they could potentially use AI to do better. And just like a quick example, by the way, my daughter struggles with testing. She's a professional, but she has to go through additional testing to keep her certification. So she used AI as a study partner by having quiz her in increasingly in levels of rigor so that she felt prepared. She said almost for the first time in her life to take an assessment. So I just think it can do so many things we don't even know yet, all the things it can do for us.
Oh, I love this. I love that. And it's a question mark. It's so nuanced, it's nebulous, but we won't know if we don't step deliberately into it. I love this, Naomi.
Yeah, I love that word possibility. And your limitless leader, that word came kind to mind also, like it really is unlimited, it's
Mhm.
limitless of what we can do with it. We don't even know yet. And I think a lot of times our students definitely, with the tech and all of that, their time, they're much faster than we are sometimes
Yes.
in learning. So I think also just to bring in professional development, I think that is so important also
Mm,
for our educators so that they can stay kind of not necessarily one step ahead because we are learning with our students, but
mm,
having those guidelines of how do we use AI. And as a former educator myself, any way to help save time helping me plan my day or writing parent letters, it really, the possibilities are really endless. of what to,
Truly,
yeah.
truly, Naomi. And as you think about just deliberate practice, I love that intentionality behind that because we're having to unlearn what our practices were, even pre-AI, pre-COVID. And so there's this collision of we are standing at a beautiful moment of innovation, but we don't yet know what that innovation can look like, sound like, feel like. So as we think about AI in daily leadership practice, because we have so many superintendents and school leaders, teacher leaders, and student leaders at every level who are really saying, how is AI going to become a part of my daily life? I know one thing I've done is schedule time to tinker. You have to schedule time. There's so many AI tools that are coming out, so many being rendered defunct every single day. So scheduling 20 minutes just to tinker and try different opportunities. If you can think about just speaking to our educators around daily leadership practice in AI, we talk about this idea of the educator blueprint. It's almost as if we're all having to come back and create, recurate our blueprint. What would you say to leaders right now as far as their deliberate practice of AI and how they interact daily?
I like your idea of deliberate practice. Like we're encouraged, we just got co-pilot at HMH, so we're being asked to use it. And so I was using it yesterday, and as I'm going through and I'm using it, I'm thinking of ways I can use it in my daily life, but also collaborate with others. So if I discover something, sharing it with a colleague, and kind of on a side note, talking about like thinking of it as a brainstorming partner. We have a
Yeah.
Gallup survey that we take, and one of the questions is always, "Do you have a best friend at work?" And I'm like, "Wow, AI might have moved up in that list of my best friend at work because I can go to and
I
brainstorm with
love it.
them."
I
So
love
that's kind
it.
of where my thinking is. But right now, I'm really in the saving time. So helping me plan my day and schedule that out. And Misty has used AI a lot in planning her sessions, and I'll let Misty kind of share what she uses it for.
I would say that I've made AI my research assistant. That was something that took me
Mm,
so much time, Mary, in the past, Googling for certain things and reading
yes,
and with AI, it can give it a task to work on for me, and it brings back all this information and it synthesizes the information. Now I have to fact check, right? Make sure that it pulled
absolutely.
valid sources and everything. But the time it gives me back with the quality information to help me to do planning is just monumental in my world.
Absolutely. I think time saving has been huge. That's the number one thing I hear from educators is how can I save time? What low stakes things can I strategize or automate so that I can focus on students? So to just wrap us up, HMH is doing so many amazing things. I always say you all are on the leading edge of what's happening but in classrooms and schools and districts. Can you just talk about perhaps just one AI tool and maybe an interaction you've seen that just sparked new insight or new perspective? Maybe it's something a teacher did, or maybe a question a student asked that you would share, just so that people, and I love, Missy, how you said possibilities. This is going to be something we're going to have to walk hand in hand with our leaders and our learners. So what's one thing you've seen, one thing you've experienced that just changed your mindset when it comes to future proofing and AI?
So just to give a little background, answer
Okay.
that question, we do have tools at HMH that have AI. Our three supplementals, Waggle, Writable, and Mira, all involve AI in some regard. But we also have AI tools embedded in our ed platform. And those are very open-ended and being developed constantly with feedback from educators. So recently had the opportunity in working with a district that has a large Haitian Creole population. And as you know, virtually no resources come in Haitian Creole. So we have the opportunity to use a translator within HMH connected to our curriculum. So there was a reading passage, we translated it. The interesting thing is the first time around, there was actually a person in the room who spoke Haitian Creole, and they were like, eh. But then we realized to that idea of reprompting, there are different types of Haitian Creole, and we had to focus in on the region that it came from to get that translation right. But think about what that does for us with all the different languages as we have in schools, and kids haven't had access to the same curriculum. It really does so much to potentially create equity um, for kids.
Absolutely. Oh, Misty, you just brought in just so many opportunities to really think deeply and intentionally about how we connect, not just around dialect, but culture, about discernment, bringing it back right back to discernment and understanding, but then that partnership, without that feedback from the student or even the person in the room who spoke it, we wouldn't have been able to tweet. So I
Yep.
love that. Excellent. Thank you so much, Naomi.
Yeah, I would say ditto to what Misty had said when we were doing the AI session that you actually attended. That was with Writable, and Misty can share more to this as well. But one of the participants actually tested our system and copied and pasted something that was AI generated, and it was flagged that it came
Mm.
in with our authorship tool, that not all the writing was done within Writable. So using that, I think, will save teachers time. And Misty, do you have anything to add to that?
No, it was just funny because he called us over and told us what he had done
Yeah.
because he was curious to see the other side of that. And I think, again, Rideable has three tools that for for authenticity. So AI detection doesn't always work that well. It can misflag things. So those authorship alerts are wonderful because they talk about writing behaviors. Because I really believe it's important that we would never want to make an accusation of a student. We always want to build that relationship. So those tools give you the ability to have a conversation or a conference with the students. And it's just so critical as we learn to navigate this new frontier with all
And
the
I do love the
possibilities.
power. Yeah, I love the power of our AI tools, and that the participants that we are working with, the educators and leaders, they're testing out our systems. Like the one in the session was like, let me try this out. And then the Haitian Creole example that you used, Misty, like, no, let's check this out. Let's look at it together and how it ties the core with AI. So it really is making it personalized for our educators as they're making lesson plans, and also for students meeting their individual needs. So it really is, the possibilities,
Mm.
as Misty said, are endless.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It's such an exciting time. And I just appreciate the intentionality behind how you are not only training, but also allowing people to interact, to be deeply curious, but also psychologically safe in their curiosity. I think that's huge for learners and leaders right now, is that this idea of productive failure. And I want to end on this and just by asking you, failure has never been a concept in education that we run toward, right? We want to see students be successful. We want to see leaders show up in this space. But productive failure, and it sounds like between the possibilities, the interactions with outputs, the opportunity to integrate discernment, there's a great opportunity for leaders to fail forward and to fail out loud. But it's okay because students need to hear you thinking and tweaking and pivoting. So if you could just give one call to action, just one thing, as we sit on the precipice of a brand new year and more AI to come. And as they say, the worst AI we have is today. It's always going to continue
Oh,
getting
yeah.
better. What would you say to educators to just maybe light up their minds or maybe just ignite them again? Because it is a lot coming at them right now.
I frankly think it's a magical time. I, so many ways, wish I was back in the classroom to experience the magical time that way. So I think that I would encourage them to collaborate with people around them in their building and outside of their building, and to keep that open mind and, like you said, to learn, and to be verbal about where it goes well and about where it fails, because we can all learn together that way. So I think it's all about the collaboration and the close networks we build as we take this journey.
Love that. Thank you, Misty.
And I think AI, I mean, it's here, right? It's here to stay. We're growing, we're learning, collaborating with each other, and maybe just like me, it might be your best friend too. So just start using it as a brainstorming partner and thinking of ways to help, save time. And definitely, I think community communication is key, and talking about with your other educators, with your leaders, what's working, what's not, and involve the students.
Absolutely, absolutely, Naomi. Oh my goodness. Ladies, this has been just such a wonderful shot in the arm as far as just understanding and knowing. One, I'm walking away understanding that discernment is definitely not a soft skill. It's a skill that we need moving into the future as we interact, as we grow. Also, strategizing, being deliberate in our practice and scheduling time for ourselves to be comfortable so that our students can be led with that same psychological safety and possibilities. That's the word for today and what's next. There's so many possibilities. How can our listeners, how can our community get in touch with you, ladies?
We're happy to share our email addresses, and they can reach out to us at any time. We'd love to continue the conversation and support anybody out there making the effort to embrace the possibilities.
Yeah, if you're interested in anything AI as far that we talked about today, we'd be happy to share some tools with you so you can kind of dabble in that as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Limitless Leaders. I'm so excited about what you are going to continue to do when it comes to future proofing and artificial intelligence, and we'll catch you next time.